How's everybody doing? Welcome to the channel, SemperFi Mobile Auto Repair. I just called out to this 1986 Chevy motorhome based on the Astro van body or chassis. And this is a vehicle that the gentleman wants to get started. He says it's a crank no start. It's a 1986, like I said, Chevy Astro minivan or mini motorhome. And it's been sitting for about 4 years. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of rodent debris. So we're gonna go ahead and start the diagnosis and see what we can find. All right, so I'm inside the vehicle now. I'm gonna see if I can get rid of or remove this pumpkin. There's 2 bolts on the bottom. They're 10 millimeters. There should be another one on this side. Some over here. Put these bolts in here. Disconnect this connector here. Okay, let me get a screwdriver. Alright, so let's just get this, pick this up. There we go. Get this out of the way. This would be like some type of ground wire. Another one. There must be another wire over here. Another bolt somewhere down here. Let's see. Doesn't appear to. Maybe it's just been here for so long. So let's try to just. There you go. Get on the other side. All right, so now let's get this pumpkin out of here. Oh wow, this is a big rat's nest in here. Okay. A lot of chewed up cables. Oh yeah, this is really bad. This is a sensor here. This wire probably came to this connector here. Goes in here. A map sensor. Let's take this off. That way we can open it up. Let me get the Set like a 7 millimeter. I'll be right back. All right, so we're gonna remove this nut here or bolt just to remove the map sensor. So you see this is a wire for it. It goes straight down there. I see these wires are cut. And not. Just leave it like that hanging. Put this bolt back in here. Come on. It's really rusted in there. Come on. Just wiggle it. Just want to get the top off to expose the throttle body. So we can open this up. Let's see if we can remove this bolt. Let's see. So we're going to put this back here. See the injectors. Okay, so the wiring appears to be intact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for injection pulse and see if we have any. Let me get my tester real quick. Alright, so I just connected, I'm connecting this noise light. I'm just going to verify, see if we have any injection pulse here. Okay, so crank it over. Yeah, got no injection pulse. Yeah, the battery is really weak. Okay, put this away. We'll check and see if we have any power on the ignition coil. No, we're not going to have any. Wires are all chewed up. This is the ignition coil right here. They're all chewed up. Okay, where are the wires for this? It has to be this one here. Maybe. Most likely this is probably the ground. This is for this wire. open the ignition harness here. Oh, yeah, they're gone. You guys can see over here, this is a wire for the ignition coil. Yeah, that's really bad. Yeah, so this needs extensive work. The battery is really weak. I'm gonna put a little jump pack. See if it'll help it out a little. I used to crank over. Let me see if I can get it to crank over. Alright, so I just put a jump pack on this. Let me see if I can get it to crank better. Okay, better. Well, we're definitely not going to get it started with all this wiring damage. I really wish we could, but it's got extensive wiring damage. Just going to advise the customer that there's so much wiring damage. I mean, they're going to have to, this is just what I see here on the ignition system. These wires here, I mean, there is a lot of wiring damage in this. But let me see if I can test for power. All right, so I'm gonna hook up my test light to ground. Grab a ground back here. Let's see if I can detect any power on the ignition coils or the wire harness that's supposed to be going to the ignition coil. Turn the ignition switch on. See if there's anything in here. Let's see. Just gonna crank it and see if I get anything. Nope. Just the other wire. Nope, not getting anything. Check this bad boy here. We should have some power feed coming through here. Disconnect this wire. One of these should be power. Yep. Nope. Not getting anything. So we definitely have a lot of damage, and everything has to do with this wiring is just extensive. Just gonna advise the customer of that, but let me see what else I can find. All right, so I'm down here at the fuse box. I'm gonna see if we have any power at all, or if this panel is completely dead. I got my jump pack on it. Yeah, it is completely dead. Nothing is on. And based on the extensive wiring damage, because they're just trying to get this running, because they want to junk it, but it's gonna take a lot of work. We're talking about the whole possible wiring harness having been replaced, and it's not worth it if they're gonna junk it because it's been sitting here for 4 years. Yeah, so I'm just gonna present my findings to the customer and just let them know that, you know, the entire wiring harness is damaged. This panel absolutely has no power, so I'm sure there's more extensive damage further down. And if they're just gonna junk, it's not worth them paying me to track down everything. Pretty much just replace the wiring harness and then ensure all this is fired up just so they can junk it. Doesn't make sense. But let me talk to them and see what they say. All right, so that's pretty much concludes my diagnosis on this. It's just got extensive wiring harness damage. I mean, for a vehicle they're just going to end up junking, or that's the whole point of getting started so you can junk it. It's not worth investing into the wiring harness just to junk it. So I'm just going to advise them and just let them know there's extensive rodent damage, and if they're just going to junk it, just recommend they come pick it up and then tow it out of here. But that concludes my diagnostic. Thank you for joining SemperFi Mobile Auto Repair. If you have any questions, by all means feel free to contact me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.